Imagine sitting at your neurologist's office after months of struggling with increasingly severe symptoms, tremors that won't stop, rigidity that makes every movement feel like pushing through concrete, and a fog of confusion that makes you question whether your medication is even working anymore. Then your doctor asks you one simple question. What did you have for breakfast this morning? You mention your usual routine, scrambled eggs with cheese, a protein shake to start the day strong. Maybe some yogurt because you heard protein was good for you. And suddenly everything clicks into place. Your doctor's face changes. They lean forward and say those words that will transform everything you thought you knew about managing Parkinson's. You've been sabotaging your own treatment every single day. The very foods you thought were healthy, the combinations you believed would make you stronger, have been blocking up to 70% of your medication from reaching your brain. This isn't about willpower or positive thinking. This is about a biochemical war happening inside your digestive system every time you eat certain foods together. And most people with Parkinson's have absolutely no idea it's happening. I've spent over 2 decades working with Parkinson's patients, and I can tell you with absolute certainty that medication management is only half the battle. The other half is understanding how food interactions can either amplify or completely destroy your treatment effectiveness. Today, I'm going to reveal the 2 specific food combinations that are most likely stealing your relief right now. But more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to restructure your eating schedule to maximize every single dose of levodopa you take. Because here's what most neurologists don't have time to explain in a 15-minute appointment. Your Parkinson's medication, especially levodopa, which is the gold standard treatment, competes directly with protein for absorption in your intestines. Every bite of chicken, every glass of milk, every handful of nuts you consume within hours of taking your medication creates a traffic jam in your digestive system where protein molecules and medication molecules are fighting for the same entry points into your bloodstream. And guess what wins most of the time? The protein does, which means your medication never reaches the concentrations in your brain needed to control your symptoms effectively. This explains why some days you feel relatively normal and other days you can barely function. It's not that your Parkinson's is randomly getting worse, it's that your food timing is accidentally sabotaging your treatment. The frustration you feel when your medication doesn't kick in on time, the wearing off episodes that happen hours before your next dose is due, the unpredictable on and off periods that make planning anything impossible. Many of these issues can be dramatically improved simply by understanding which foods to separate from your medication and exactly how long to wait between them before we dive deep into the science and the solutions. I want you to know where you're watching from today. Leave a comment below telling me your city or country, and feel free to share your biggest challenge with medication timing. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear, to know they're not alone in this struggle. First, let's talk about the most dangerous combination that affects nearly everyone with Parkinson's: protein-rich foods consumed within 2 hours of taking levodopa medication. Among all the dietary factors that can interfere with Parkinson's treatment, this protein-medication interaction stands out as the most significant and most commonly overlooked problem. But how exactly does protein sabotage your medication? Let's explore this together in detail. Levodopa is a precursor to dopamine, the neurotransmitter that people with Parkinson's lack when you take your medication. It needs to travel from your stomach through your small intestine, where it gets absorbed into your bloodstream. Then it crosses something called the blood-brain barrier to finally reach your brain, where it converts into dopamine. Sounds simple enough, right? But here's where the problem starts. Levodopa is chemically classified as a large neutral amino acid, and protein from food breaks down into amino acids during digestion. These amino acids are the exact same size and shape as levodopa molecules. Both your medication and dietary protein use the same transportation system to cross from your intestine into your blood, and later from your blood into your brain. Imagine a small ferry that can only carry a limited number of passengers at a time. If the dock is crowded with hundreds of people all trying to board, only a fraction will make it onto that ferry. This is exactly what happens in your digestive system when you eat protein close to taking your medication. The amino acids from protein flood the absorption sites, taking up all the available spaces, and your levodopa medication gets left behind, stuck in your intestines, unable to reach your bloodstream in adequate amounts. The result is that your medication becomes far less effective or takes much longer to start working. Studies have shown that a high-protein meal consumed within 30 minutes of taking levodopa can reduce medication absorption by up to 50%, and even small amounts of protein eaten within 2 hours can significantly delay the onset of symptom relief. This explains why you might take your morning dose and feel nothing for hours, or why your afternoon medication seems to work some days but not others. The variable isn't your disease progression, it's what you ate and when you ate it. Here's what makes this particularly frustrating. Many of the foods we consider healthy and are encouraged to eat, lean chicken breast, Greek yogurt, protein shakes, nuts and seeds, beans and legumes, eggs, cheese, fish, are all high in protein and all potential medication blockers. If consumed at the wrong time, you might be following a nutritious diet, checking all the boxes for healthy eating, and still experiencing poor symptom control simply because nobody explained the critical importance of timing. The severity of this interaction varies from person to person. Some individuals are extremely sensitive and need to avoid all protein for 3 hours before and 1 hour after their levodopa dose. Others can tolerate small amounts of protein with only mild effects. But the only way to know where you fall on this spectrum is to experiment carefully and track your results, which we'll discuss how to do in a moment. Does this mean you need to eliminate protein from your diet entirely? Absolutely not. Protein is essential for maintaining muscle mass, supporting immune function, and providing energy, especially important for people with Parkinson's, who may already be at risk for muscle wasting. The key is strategic timing, not elimination. Here are the evidence-based recommendations that have helped thousands of patients optimize their medication effectiveness. First, establish a protein distribution strategy that works with your medication schedule for most people taking levodopa 3 to 4 times daily. The most practical approach is to save the majority of their protein intake for the evening meal. This means eating primarily carbohydrate-based meals with vegetables and fruits during the day when you're taking most of your medication doses. Then, enjoying a protein-rich dinner at least 1 hour after your last dose of the day. This strategy allows your daytime medications to work optimally when you need them most for activities and function, while still meeting your nutritional protein requirements at dinner when medication demands are lower. Second, understand the 2-hour rule. Ideally, you should avoid significant protein intake for at least 2 hours before taking levodopa. Some experts recommend 3 hours for optimal absorption. This might sound extreme, but the difference in symptom control can be dramatic. Imagine taking your 10 a.m. dose. You should avoid protein-rich foods from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. at the earliest, giving your medication a clear window to absorb without competition. Third, learn which foods are surprisingly high in protein. Milk and dairy products are frequent culprits because many people don't think of them as protein sources. 1 cup of milk contains 8 grams of protein, enough to interfere with medication absorption. That innocent splash of cream in your coffee or the yogurt you have with your mid-morning medication could be undermining your treatment. Nuts and nut butters are another hidden source. Just 2 tablespoons of peanut butter contains 8 grams of protein. That supposedly healthy snack with your afternoon dose might be why your medication takes forever to kick in. Even seemingly innocent foods like whole grain bread and quinoa contain enough protein to cause issues if eaten in large quantities close to medication time. Fourth, consider using a food timing journal. This simple tool can be transformative. For 2 weeks, write down everything you eat, the time you eat it, when you take your medications, and how long it takes for your symptoms to improve after each dose. Patterns will emerge that reveal your personal protein sensitivity. You might discover that your 2 p.m. dose always works better than your 10 a.m. dose because you accidentally eat more protein at breakfast than at lunch. These insights allow you to make targeted adjustments rather than guessing. Fifth, work with a dietitian who understands Parkinson's. This is not the time for generic nutritional advice. You need someone who understands the unique challenges of balancing adequate protein intake with optimal medication timing. A knowledgeable dietitian can help you calculate your daily protein needs, usually around 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, and create a meal plan that meets those needs while maximizing your medication effectiveness. They can also help you identify hidden protein sources you might be missing. Sixth, be aware of protein redistribution diet studies. Some research has explored a very low protein diet during the day with less than 7 grams of protein before dinner, then all remaining protein consumed in the evening. Patients following this approach reported significant improvements in motor function during the day. With better medication response and fewer off periods, however, this diet is quite restrictive and difficult to maintain long-term. It's typically reserved for people with severe motor fluctuations who haven't responded to other timing strategies. Always discuss this option with your healthcare team before attempting it. 7th, don't forget about protein in beverages. Smoothies and protein shakes are particularly problematic because people often consume them thinking they're being healthy, but a typical protein shake can contain 20 to 30 grams of protein, enough to block medication absorption for hours. If you enjoy smoothies, save them for evening or make them with fruits and vegetables only during the day. 8th, understand that protein timing becomes more critical as Parkinson's progresses. In early stages of the disease, when you're taking lower doses of medication less frequently, protein interactions might not be noticeable, but as your condition advances and you require multiple daily doses with precise timing for symptom control, every gram of protein matters. What worked for you 2 years ago might not work now, and that's okay. Adaptation is part of effective disease management. Before we continue with the second dangerous food combination, I want to pause and ask you something important. What time of day do your Parkinson's symptoms feel most challenging? Is it first thing in the morning when stiffness makes getting out of bed feel impossible? Or maybe during meals when tremors make every forkful an exercise in concentration? Or perhaps late afternoon when your medication seems to wear off too quickly, leaving you frozen until your next dose? This question isn't just curiosity. Many people with Parkinson's feel like nobody truly understands the unpredictable nature of this condition. The way symptoms can shift from hour to hour, making it impossible to plan your day with confidence. But you are not alone in this journey. Share your experience in the comments. You can simply copy and complete this sentence. My biggest challenge with Parkinson's is when I try to... Your comment could be exactly the validation another person needs today to feel understood and less isolated. Plus, your insights help us create content that addresses the real difficulties you face every day, not just textbook symptoms. Now let's continue with our second critical strategy that can transform your medication effectiveness. Now let's address the second dangerous combination that catches most people completely off guard. High-fiber foods and iron-rich supplements taken close to levodopa medication, while protein gets most of the attention in discussions about medication-food interactions. This combination is equally problematic, but far less known. Here's what makes this particularly tricky. Both fiber and iron are considered essential for good health. Doctors routinely recommend high-fiber diets for digestive health and iron supplements to prevent anemia, especially in older adults. But when consumed near your Parkinson's medication, they can create serious absorption problems that leave you under-medicated and suffering unnecessarily. Let's start with fiber. Dietary fiber comes in 2 forms: soluble fiber, which dissolves in water and forms a gel-like substance in your gut, and insoluble fiber, which doesn't dissolve and helps move food through your digestive system. Both types are important for overall health. Preventing constipation, which is already a major issue for people with Parkinson's, supporting healthy cholesterol levels, and maintaining stable blood sugar. But here's the problem. Fiber can bind to levodopa in your stomach and intestines, wrapping around the medication molecules and preventing them from being absorbed. Think of it like wrapping a present in multiple layers of paper. The gift is still there, but it's much harder to access. When your medication gets trapped in fiber, it moves through your digestive system without being absorbed properly. You might as well have not taken it at all. High-fiber cereals eaten at breakfast with your morning medication are a common culprit. Bran muffins, oatmeal, whole grain toast, fiber supplements like Metamucil or Benefiber taken to help with constipation. These well-intentioned healthy choices can significantly reduce how much medication reaches your bloodstream. Studies suggest that very high fiber meals, those containing more than 10 grams of fiber, can delay levodopa absorption by 30 minutes to over an hour and may reduce total absorption by up to 30%. This doesn't mean you should avoid fiber entirely. That would create other serious health problems, especially worsening the constipation that already plagues most people with Parkinson's. Instead, you need to strategically time your fiber intake Here's the recommendation. Consume your high-fiber foods at least 1 hour before or 2 hours after taking your medication. This gives the medication a clear window to absorb without interference. If you typically eat a high-fiber breakfast, take your morning medication 30 to 60 minutes before eating, then wait another 30 minutes after your medication before having that bowl of bran cereal. Yes, this requires planning and discipline, but the improvement in symptom control makes it absolutely worthwhile. For people who rely on fiber supplements to manage constipation, timing becomes even more critical. Take your fiber supplement in the evening, well separated from any medication doses. Never take fiber supplements within 2 hours of levodopa. The concentrated fiber in these products creates an even stronger binding effect than fiber from whole foods. Now let's talk about iron. This mineral is essential for producing red blood cells and preventing anemia. Many people, especially women and older adults, take iron supplements daily. Some multivitamins contain significant amounts of iron, and certain foods like red meat, spinach, and fortified cereals are rich sources. Here's where it gets complicated for people with Parkinson's. Iron forms what chemists call a chelation complex with levodopa. Essentially, iron molecules chemically bind to medication molecules, creating a new compound that your body cannot absorb. It's not just that iron and levodopa compete for absorption like protein does. They actually bond together into an unusable form. This interaction is so strong that even small amounts of iron can dramatically reduce medication effectiveness. Taking a multivitamin that contains iron within 2 hours of your levodopa can reduce medication absorption by up to 50%. Studies have shown that just 10 milligrams of iron, the amount in many multivitamins, can significantly impair levodopa absorption. What makes this even more frustrating is that many people with Parkinson's do need iron supplementation. The disease itself, combined with potential bleeding from medications like aspirin, can lead to iron deficiency anemia. So you're stuck in a catch-22. You need the iron for your blood health, but taking it destroys your medication effectiveness. The solution is strict separation. If you need to take iron supplements, take them at least 4 hours away from any levodopa dose. For most people, this means taking iron at bedtime, well after your last medication dose of the day. If you take an evening dose of levodopa, you might need to move your iron supplement to mid-afternoon. Timed carefully between medication doses, never take iron within 2 hours before or after levodopa. The 4-hour separation is not excessive caution. It's based on the pharmacokinetics of how long these substances remain in your digestive system where they can interact. Here's another consideration. Iron-rich foods like red meat, liver, dark leafy greens, and fortified cereals. These whole food sources of iron are less likely to cause severe interactions than iron supplements because the iron is bound up in the food matrix and released more slowly during digestion. However, you should still be mindful of timing. If you're having a steak for lunch, take your midday medication at least 30 minutes before eating or wait until 2 hours after the meal. For breakfast cereals fortified with iron, the same rules apply as with fiber. Take your medication well before eating. Some people ask whether they should stop taking iron supplements altogether. This is a decision you must make with your doctor. If your blood work shows normal iron levels and you're not at risk for anemia, you might not need supplementation at all. Eliminating the supplement solves the interaction problem completely. However, if you have documented iron deficiency, stopping supplementation could lead to serious health consequences like fatigue, weakness, shortness of breath, and increased fall risk. In these cases, careful timing is essential, not elimination. There's also a lesser-known interaction worth mentioning. Antacids that contain calcium, magnesium, or aluminum can also interfere with levodopa absorption. Many people take antacids for heartburn or acid reflux, both common issues in Parkinson's, but these products can bind to medication in the stomach, similar to how iron does. If you need antacids, choose H2 blockers like famotidine or proton pump inhibitors like omeprazole, which work differently and don't interfere with medication absorption. If you must use antacids, take them at least 2 hours separated from your levodopa doses. Here's a practical framework for managing both fiber and iron interactions. First, create a visual medication and meal schedule. Use a simple chart that shows your medication times and blocks out the windows before and after when you should avoid high fiber and iron-rich foods. Seeing this visually makes it much easier to plan your meals and snacks appropriately. Second, front-load your fiber early in the day or save it for evening. If you take your first medication dose at 8 a.m., consider having your high-fiber breakfast at 6:30 a.m., giving the fiber time to move through your system before medication. Alternatively, save your highest fiber foods for dinner when medication demands are lower. Third, read labels obsessively. Many processed foods are fortified with iron: breakfast cereals, bread, pasta, protein bars. Check the nutrition label for iron content. If a serving provides more than 10% of the daily value for iron, consider it a high iron food and time it carefully around your medications. Fourth, separate your supplements. Many people take multiple supplements throughout the day: vitamins, minerals, omega-3s, probiotics. Create a supplement schedule that clearly separates iron-containing products from your medication times. Use a pill organizer with time slots to keep everything straight. Fifth, consider alternating high-fiber days and lower-fiber days. This might sound strange, but some people find it easier to eat higher fiber on days when they have fewer activities planned and can be more flexible with medication timing. Then on busy days when precise medication timing is critical, they eat lower fiber meals that won't interfere. Sixth, talk to your pharmacist. They can review all your medications and supplements to identify potential interactions you might not be aware of. Some prescription drugs also contain iron or interact with levodopa. Your pharmacist can help you create a comprehensive timing strategy. Seventh, don't forget about fortified foods, protein powders, meal replacement shakes, nutritional supplements like Ensure or Boost. These products are often fortified with both iron and fiber, making them double trouble for medication absorption. If you rely on these products, read the label carefully and time them appropriately. Eighth, be patient with yourself. Managing all these timing requirements is genuinely difficult, especially when you're also dealing with the cognitive challenges that can come with Parkinson's. Memory aids like phone alarms, written schedules, and involvement of family members can make this more manageable. You will make mistakes, you will occasionally eat the wrong thing at the wrong time, and that's okay. What matters is the overall pattern, not perfection. Ninth, reassess regularly. Your medication schedule might change as your disease progresses. Your doctor might adjust doses or add new medications. Each time your treatment plan changes, revisit your meal and supplement timing to make sure everything still fits together properly. What worked 6 months ago might need adjustment now. 10th, educate your family and caregivers. They're often the ones preparing meals and might not understand why timing is so critical. Take the time to explain these interactions so they can support your medication management rather than accidentally sabotage it. Let's talk about what an ideal day might look like when you're managing these food-medication interactions properly. This is an example, not a rigid prescription. You'll need to adapt it to your specific medication schedule and personal needs. Imagine you take levodopa 4 times daily at 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. Here's how you might structure your eating. 6 to 9 a.m. wake up and have a small high-fiber snack if desired, maybe a few prunes or a small bowl of oatmeal. This is well separated from your first medication dose, 6:45 a.m. Take your 7 a.m. medication dose about 15 minutes early, with water only. 7:30 a.m. have breakfast, but choose lower protein and lower fiber options. White toast with jam, fruit juice. These foods won't interfere with your morning medication. 9 a.m. mid-morning snack can include more fiber, now that you're well past your morning dose. Raw vegetables with hummus. An apple, 10:30 a.m. Take your 11 a.m. medication dose a bit early. 11:30 a.m. lunch should be low protein, perhaps a pasta salad with vegetables, a rice bowl with steamed vegetables, bread with vegetable soup. Save your protein for dinner. 2:30 p.m. Take your 3 p.m. medication dose a bit early. 3:30 p.m. afternoon snack can include a bit more fiber. Whole grain crackers, carrot sticks. 6:45 p.m. Take your 7 p.m. medication dose about 15 minutes early. 7:45 p.m. Now you can enjoy a protein-rich dinner, grilled chicken or fish, beans, dairy products. This meal can include your daily protein requirements since it's after your last medication dose. 9 p.m. If you take iron supplements or fiber supplements, this is the ideal time, well separated from all medication doses. This schedule allows each medication dose to absorb optimally while still meeting your nutritional needs throughout the day. Of course, your schedule will look different based on your specific medication timing, but the principles remain the same. Separate protein and high-fiber foods from medication doses by at least 1 to 2 hours, separate iron supplements by at least 4 hours, save your highest protein intake for evening, and use the middle of the day between medication doses for higher fiber snacks. Let's address some common questions and concerns about managing these food interactions. First, what if I forget and eat the wrong thing at the wrong time? Don't panic. One mistake won't cause permanent harm. You might have a few hours of poor symptom control, but your next dose will be an opportunity to get back on track. Make a note of what happened so you can avoid the same mistake in the future and move on. Second, is it better to take my medication on an empty stomach or with a small amount of food? For most people, levodopa absorbs best on an empty stomach. However, some individuals experience nausea when taking it without food. If you need a small amount of food to prevent stomach upset, choose simple carbohydrates that are low in protein and fiber. A few crackers, a small piece of white bread, applesauce. These provide just enough substance to calm your stomach without significantly interfering with absorption. Third, can I drink coffee or tea with my medication? Yes, coffee and tea are generally fine, but avoid adding milk, cream, or protein powder. The dairy protein will interfere with absorption. Black coffee, tea with a bit of sugar, or plant-based milk. Alternatives with minimal protein, like almond milk, are better choices. Fourth, what about alcohol? Alcohol doesn't directly interfere with levodopa absorption, but it can increase side effects like dizziness and drowsiness. It can also impair judgment and balance, both already challenges with Parkinson's. If you choose to drink, do so in moderation and never on an empty stomach. Fifth, some days my medication seems to work great and other days it doesn't. Why? Variable medication response is incredibly common in Parkinson's. While food interactions are a major cause, other factors also play a role. Stress levels, sleep quality, hydration, physical activity, and even time of day can affect how well your medication works. Keeping detailed records of all these factors can help identify patterns. Sixth, I'm losing weight. Can I really afford to restrict protein during the day? Unintended weight loss is a serious concern in Parkinson's. If this is happening to you, work closely with a dietitian to ensure you're meeting your caloric needs, even with timed protein intake. You may need to increase your overall food intake, add healthy fats like olive oil and avocado, or include more calorie-dense carbohydrates to maintain your weight while managing medication timing. Seventh, this all seems so complicated. How will I ever remember everything? Start simple, focus on one change at a time, maybe begin by moving your protein to evening meals. Once that becomes routine, add the next layer, like timing fiber more carefully. Use tools like phone reminders and written schedules. Gradually, these new habits will become second nature. Eighth, my symptoms are still not controlled well despite trying these timing strategies. What else could be wrong? Food interactions are just one piece of the puzzle. If you've optimized your meal timing and still have poor symptom control, talk to your doctor about medication adjustments, adding new medications, or other treatment options like device-based therapies. Don't suffer in silence thinking that better timing alone will fix everything. For people with Parkinson's who are struggling with unpredictable medication response and frustrating motor fluctuations, understanding and managing the interactions between levodopa and both protein-rich foods and iron supplements offers real hope for dramatically improved symptom control. These aren't fringe theories or unproven hacks. They're evidence-based strategies that neurologists and movement disorder specialists recommend, yet somehow most patients never receive clear, detailed guidance on implementation. By now you understand that protein competes directly with levodopa for absorption, creating a biological traffic jam that can reduce your medication effectiveness by 50% or more if consumed at the wrong times. You've learned that high-fiber foods can bind to medication, trapping it in your digestive system where it becomes useless. And you've discovered that iron forms a chemical complex with levodopa, creating an entirely new compound that your body cannot use. Most importantly, you now have a practical framework for managing these interactions. Strategic timing, not elimination, is the key. By redistributing your protein intake to evening, carefully timing high-fiber foods around your medication schedule, and taking iron supplements at least 4 hours separated from levodopa, you can maximize every single dose and reclaim the symptom control you deserve. The difference between a good day and a bad day with Parkinson's often comes down to these seemingly small details. Taking your medication 15 minutes earlier, eating breakfast 30 minutes later, moving your multivitamin to bedtime, these tiny adjustments accumulate into dramatically better function, allowing you to stay active, independent, and engaged with life, despite your diagnosis. Yes, it requires effort and discipline. Keeping track of medication times, planning meals carefully, resisting the convenience of grabbing whatever food is available. But the alternative is suffering unnecessarily with symptoms that could be better controlled. Living with constant uncertainty about whether your medication will work today, missing out on activities because your off periods are unpredictable. I can tell you from working with hundreds of patients that once people commit to optimizing their medication timing around food, they rarely go back to their old habits. The improvement in quality of life is simply too significant to give up. Remember that you're not alone in figuring this out. Talk to your neurologist or movement disorder specialist about these strategies. Work with a dietitian who understands Parkinson's. Connect with other patients who are navigating the same challenges. Share your experiences and learn from theirs. The Parkinson's community is filled with people who understand exactly what you're going through and want to help. If this video has brought you hope or useful information, I want to invite you to join our community here on the Beyond Parkinson channel. Living with Parkinson's presents unique challenges that only those who experience it truly understand. By subscribing to this channel, you'll get access to new videos every week with evidence-based strategies for managing every aspect of Parkinson's, from exercise techniques that improve balance to nutritional approaches that support brain health. Our commitment is to provide content that makes a real difference in your daily life. Information filtered through scientific research but explained in clear, accessible language without medical jargon. Many of our subscribers tell us that small changes learned here have transformed their independence and confidence. To subscribe is simple. Just click the subscribe button below this video and then click the bell icon to be notified whenever we publish new content. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Every small step counts. We want to support your progress and celebrate your victories. Each improvement matters, no matter how small it might seem. Thank you for being here today. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video where we'll explore more strategies for living your best life despite Parkinson's challenges.